Okie dokie. So hello, YouTube. Today I'm going to be reacting to why Pikmin 2 broke me from GameXplain. I've decided, this was requested by one of my Instagram followers. They were like, you reacted to Shafrillis's video, why not react to this one? I have done a reaction to the Shafrillis video before. I'll probably pin it below. I did watch this when it first came back in 2023. I have not watched it since. I don't know what he says, but yeah. Also, don't mean any hate to Joey for GameXplain. I'm sure he's a great guy. And, yeah. Anywho,
very first time after having
let's
only
see.
played 3, and I really liked it. And I couldn't wait to get started with Pikmin 2 right after I beat the first game. So I'm gonna go do that right now. I really hope I enjoy myself.
There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. There we go. OBS.
So right after the events of Pikmin 1, Olimar returns to his home planet of Hokotate, and he finds out from the president of his company, Hokotate Freight.
It's Hokotate. It's not Hokotate. Who? No, it's like very small potatoes, but that kind of annoys me. That annoys me when people call Hokotate Hokotate. That's not how it's pronounced, but okay.
That the company is in a ton of debt, largely thanks to another employee named Louis, who lost a big shipment of pick carrots. But they find out that the bottle cap Olimar brought back for his son is worth a lot
certainly
of money.
True.
So he sets off with Louis back to the planet to find more treasure in order to pay off the debt of 10,000 Hokotate coins. I don't know exactly what the currency is.
It probably goes, but I'm not gonna ding you points for not knowing the fictional currency. I won't ding you points for that.
Point is, you both go back to the planet to get some treasure to pay off the debt. A premise almost as simple as the first games, only this time, instead of having a time limit of 30 days, you don't really have a...
Yeah, it is. Pikmin 1 and I mean, to be fair, Pikmin is no Game of Thrones or no Breaking Bad in terms of its story. They're pretty simple stories, and I personally like to think that Pikmin 1's is a bit better than 2's, and that it gets a little bit worse in 3, and then it gets a little bit worse in 4, because Pikmin 1 and 2 have this dark tone of humor, if that makes sense. Like, it's weird to say, but it does. Okay, anywho.
Time limit at all. You can play this game for as long as you need to pay off that debt. There's still time limits in the day, like in the first game, but no longer are you restricted to a day limit, per se. I know there's been a debate within the Pikmin community on whether a time limit is good or a time limit is bad. As for...
Yeah, personally, Pikmin works with one and without one, and in my honest opinion, Pikmin 1... To be real, Pikmin doesn't really have necessarily time limits, because Pikmin 2, they're not there. Pikmin 4, they're not there. Pikmin 3, it's only there if it's your first run, or if you're playing True Spice or Maximum Spice, you have a Gun of the Hunt. And Pikmin 1 is only there your first time. So, yeah, but,
me,
I want Shipwreck Tale too. I guess that's something.
I don't really care that much. I did think it worked well in Pikmin 1, but in Pikmin 2's case, I understand why they didn't really incorporate a day limit, because there's just a lot of treasure you need to collect in this game. Like, so much treasure, I don't even know how many there are. What's interesting is that Pikmin 2 actually reuses some levels from Pikmin 1.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair that it doesn't. Alright.
Awakening Wood and Perplexing Pool in particular are based on the Forest of Hope and the Distant Spring. The final map is also a mixture of 2 other maps from 1, but I won't spoil that until we get to the spoiler section. And I didn't mind this reuse of assets because they did some things to really change it up. They added more and different enemies to those levels, and they placed obstacles in areas that didn't have them before. The game also looks quite a bit better than Pikmin 1. Not exactly like a huge upgrade, but you can tell that the textures look more deep.
Yeah, like Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2, they do look like they're both, let's get real, they're both GameCube games, and they're not like the most prettiest looking games in the universe, but Pikmin 2 does look significantly better from Pikmin 1, if you ask me.
Detailed. The game is more vibrant and colorful, so that was really cool to see. Again, it's kind of disappointing that this isn't a full-blown remaster, kind of like how Pikmin 1 wasn't a full-blown remaster, but the games look fine to me anyway, so I didn't really care that much. The controls also remain...
Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. that it's not like a full-blown remaster and it's just emulation but with HUD icons being upscaled. And it still looks very good. Like Pikmin 2 still looks, and Pikmin 1, they're both pretty visually appealing games. I mean, the caves to a lesser extent, but
mostly the same, especially now that I realized that I could do a Pikmin swarm movement of sorts by holding L and using the right stick, which I didn't know throughout my entire time playing Pikmin.
Oh, oh. I really? You didn't use Swarm the entirety of Pikmin 1? Jeez. And 2? Okay. But, like, that's pretty important for good Dandori.
So that was a really handy tool to have. But there's a fatal flaw with this Switch port, and that there are no longer name brand treasures, no Duracell batteries.
Yeah, that's fair. I will 100% give you that. But to be fair, you could just play the Wii version or the GameCube version. But yeah, that is completely fair if you ask me.
No 7-Up bottle caps, nothing.
Like, okay. If you ask me, them removing it does make the game stand out less. I will have to say, it's like a deal breaker, but I to be honest, like the text that they censored out of Pikmin to the Switchboard of 2 bothers me more because they're just censoring stuff, like getting rid of Gemstar husband and Gemstar wife. Like, that doesn't, even if you are, I don't know, non-binary, for an example, I don't think the words husband or wife will affect you. Like, that honestly POs me more than the branding going, because I actually will give Nintendo this. Them going after to renew a 20-year contract with Duracell, with Pepsi, with Dr. Pepper, whatever it is, that's probably pretty fair, because that would have just costed a whole bunch of money for like no real reason. But yeah, I'll give them that.
But really, I didn't play this game as a kid, so none of this really affected me. I get there may be a sense of immersion added by using those real-world brands like Duracell to drive home the point that there used to be people on this planet called Earth.
Well, this video is so much better than Shape Rails is. It's more than just the games. I mean, actually, I can't say they got.
As for me, I just really don't care. And now it's not just Olimar on this mission alone with his Pikmin. Louis has joined the fray, and you can swap between characters, and I'll be honest, I didn't really do it that much here. Like, I could understand why you would, maybe while Olimar is doing something over.
So, that's honestly fair. That's honest. Okay, I'll see what he has to say about this, and then I'll comment on it.
Over here with the Pikmin, like staying with them as they bring down a giant gate. Louis can take some Pikmin back to the ship as they're bringing over some treasure and bring them back to him. I get how that theoretically could make the process a bit more easy, but either I was doing it wrong this whole time, or I just didn't find this mechanic that useful. Pikmin 3, frankly, did this mechanic a lot better, with the ability to throw your comrades across gaps and directing them to go somewhere with a squad of Pikmin while you do something else.
Okay, I will give you that. I will give you that. Okay, so having multiple cat lists of Pikmin 3 for multitasking, for Pikmin 2, it is still for multitasking. If when you're playing Pikmin 2 at a high level, or like trying to do like Wistful Wild in one day, you gotta send Olimar to one side of the map, you gotta send the President to one side of the map, you gotta do a whole bunch of things. But when you lose a captain in Pikmin 2, you lose a lot of safety for your Pikmin. You lose... It's... Sure, Go Here is important. I'm not trying to downplay the value of Go Here. Heck, in Pikmin 269 and Pikmin 2 Regrown, having Go Here is a game changer in those. And I'm not trying to say that Pikmin 2 does that better, but I feel like it's different with that, because yeah, sure, it is multitasking. Okay, I'll just
but these mechanics are in Pikmin 2, and it's definitely noticeable. And things in Pikmin 2 just feel like they take longer in general. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but man, those Pikmin take a long time.
So you're saying things take longer here, and the clip you're showing shows you taking back the crown treasure from the Valley Repose with a whole bunch of purples and blue leaves. honestly, I think Pikmin 2 might be slower than Pikmin 1 because, to be fair, yeah, there was all the treasure cutscenes and those can drag out the pacing. However, you got both white Pikmin and spicy spray, so I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one.
To bring stuff back to the ship, more so than I remember them doing in 1. And even though there's these new Pikmin, this
I think it's a bit. I think Pikmin 2 in the overworld is a bit faster because you have access to both white Pikmin and spicy spray. If you're only using leaves in Pikmin 1, it's gonna take a long time for you to get a ship part in that. Same with in 2.
strong purple,
because leaf Pikmin in Pikmin 1 and 2 slow them down way more than they do in 3 and 4.
Pikmin that can lift the weight of 10 Pikmin, I still felt like they weren't really that efficient. That brings me to another topic. There's
because purple Pikmin are for combat. I mean, yeah, they do take things back, but they're not super fast. But all right.
Some new Pikmin in this game. There's the purple Pikmin, like I was just talking about. These are strong boys. They're really good in combat. They have stronger hits. They can also do a ground pound when you throw them to sometimes knock enemies on their back. They're also 10 times as strong as normal Pikmin, so that's really handy. Then there's the white Pikmin, which are poisonous, so if they get eaten by enemies, they'll take off some health, so their sacrifice won't go in vain.
What is this gameplay, bro? The Emperor Bulblacks. Oof. Oof. Hold on. I want to take a look at that again.
So if they get eaten by enemies, they'll take off.
Just yeeting your entire Pikmin squad at it. Wow, okay.
Some health, so their sacrifice won't go in vain. They're also poison resistant, so if you see any poisonous gas, they can go in.
Even if you don't know the strategy of the purples for the Bulblacks, you know, that's okay. I'll let it be for now. I'll let it be for now.
That gas without getting damaged. And then there are the Bulbmins, which...
Oh, wow, they actually talk about the Bulbmin. This video getting points for that.
Are weird hybrids of Bulborbs and Pikmin. They are resistant to all the elements, but they can only be found in the caves, which I'll get to in a bit. They're really interesting Pikmin, albeit they feel a bit underutilized here. I didn't really have many opportunities to use them during those many sub-level missions.
Oh, I'll actually give you that. Bulbmin only appear 3 times in Pikmin 2. The Frontier Cavern, the Hole of Heroes, and the Submerged Castle. And honestly, I would say that they are underutilized. But, you know, you could make an argument that, you know, they're pretty powerful. So they appear, you know, kind of sparingly. So, all right.
But those 2 other Pikmin I mentioned before, the purple and the white ones, can also just only be found in caves in general. They're found through purple and white flowers. You throw in a certain amount of Pikmin, and out will pop the purple and the white Pikmins respectively. So it makes trying to get them a bit irritating, because if you need more of them at some point, you'll have to find a cave that they're in and have to get them that way. And you know, while we're on the subject...
True. I'll give you that. Purple and whites, managing them, particularly if you're newer, can be a bit of a chore. It isn't as bad as people say it is, but it certainly can be a little infuriating managing getting whites and purples up. But yeah, I'll give you that.
Of caves, let's talk about them. But I need to preface them by saying, when I'm playing Pikmin 2 and I'm on the above ground levels, the game is totally fine.
This is just caves bad, above ground good video, isn't it?
The Pikmin I know and love. You're wandering around these levels, gathering the treasures that are above ground. It's mostly the way the first Pikmin worked, and I really liked that game, and therefore I really liked it when I stayed on the surface. But man, oh man, when you get...
But isn't that the caves? You run around the caves and you collect treasure too? But
to the caves.
I'll let it be.
The game just takes a total nosedive.
Ooh,
this is where you're gonna play most of the game. You're gonna be taken down into these caves. There are smaller little levels where you have to gather the treasure within them. You can even exchange the enemy corpses for change, which means you can't spawn more Pikmin.
What is this? Holy crap! What is this?
You can even exchange the enemy corpses for change, which means you can't...
Throwing out your entire... Okay, first of all... I'm critiquing it. I'm critiquing it. Why do you take 66 Pikmin into the stagger hole? It is sub-level 1. If this was like sub-level like 4 or 5, okay, you have the excuse of losing them. 2, why on earth are you just going right in front of the orange bulb just start You don't do that. You don't do that. You do not just... Is this how he plays Pikmin 1? Because if you do this in Pikmin 1, your Pikmin are gonna die too. The only difference is there's the onion to get more, but you lose a crap ton of time if you do that.
Can't spawn more Pikmin if you wanted to, because the onions don't go down there with
What?
you. So if you lose the Pikmin, you lose them for the rest of the cave.
Like, I'm not trying to sound like a smartass, but when I constantly say Pikmin 2 is like the best game and you learn how to play it properly, stuff like this proves my point.
And the little levels are broken off into sub-levels, I should say. So when you beat one level, you'll go down a hole to the next sub-level and the sub-level after that. And there doesn't ever seem to be a clear indication of how many sub-levels there are per cave. All I know is that when I'm getting tired of a cave and I have to keep going down sub-levels and I don't see that notification saying this is the final sub-level, I just get really irritated. There's just a lot about these caves that I don't like. And part of it is just like losing...
Again, okay.
Just a lot about these caves that I don't like. And part of it is...
What is the... running off of Olimar the President into the freaking wind, taking all 76 of your Pikmin just running around. And then are we serious right now? There's a thing called Pikmin type management. Particularly while you're doing this level, it's like, 20 white Pikmin and go around and get the stuff there. But
it's just like losing the Pikmin for good for the rest of the cave. You can't really spawn
more. Even if you did take all your Pikmin out there, you could have swarmed them to the left or the right, then hug the wall.
Or unless you come across these flowers that replace one Pikmin with 10 of a specific type, the color changes as time goes on. And let me tell you, I wish I knew that as I played the game, because there was no clear indication that that's what that flower would do. I thought it would just work like the flowers that would swap the colors of a Pikmin. The amount would...
Oh, okay, I'll actually give you that. I'll give you that. If you don't know how it works, sure, for sure.
Just remain the same. I didn't know that it would actually increase the amount of Pikmin that you had. Even if I knew that though, I would still not like these levels. There was something about them that felt sloppy and certainly un-Nintendo-like of them.
So what the heck is your point of un-Nintendo? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Because... Are you saying it's on Nintendo-like because it uses semi-random generation? It's not the only Nintendo game to do that. A bunch of other ones do that as well. Are you saying it's not Nintendo-like because it's not like other games in its series? Do you want me to start listing games? Mario Sunshine, Majora's Mask, Zelda 2... Okay, I'm doing a really bad job at listing them. The Mother series, for sure. I could go on and on. I'm not the best of examples, but Nintendo doesn't make games the same way. And even if... That's a very weird critique. Because, oh, it's not Nintendo-like. How dare it not be like Nintendo games? Because yeah, Pikmin 2 is significantly harder than other Nintendo games. I will give you that. It is harder than most Nintendo games. Okay.
And then I found out from a friend on Twitter that they were randomly generated. Oh.
People throw... Okay. I hate that people say that they're randomly generated. Oh, they're randomly generated. ChatGPT and character AI generated it for me. That's not how it works. The set pieces are designed with human hand. The enemies and the turtles are designed with human hand. They're just sometimes mixed around.
Oh, that makes sense. That explains why the level design just is complete nonsense a lot of the time. There's like corridors that lead to literally nothing. There's blockades that when you bring them down, they lead to also literally nothing. Sometimes
Why would you break them down that lead to anything, you know? Okay.
The game will throw you a bone and drop some nectar to strengthen your Pikmin. Sometimes it'll throw you a bad bone and drop a bomb. But these levels being randomly generated are very un-Nintendo-like.
Okay, I don't understand this on Nintendo like point. Like, this is like, not gonna lie, I think Shay Frillis's point about Pikmin 2 being against capitalism is a better point than this. I genuinely think that, because I could say I could pick pretty much any video game and say this goes against the company because it does this, this, and this, and it's not supposed to do A, B, C, and it does D, Y, and E.
We know Nintendo for their immaculate level design in most of their games, and these levels are just not that.
So you just critiquing this based off a Nintendo game? Because newsflash, there are more games than just Nintendo. They're not the only company that makes video games. Sure, Pikmin 2 is a Nintendo game, my favorite game of all time, but even if it was the exact same game, it was made by Microsoft or Sony or Mojang or Square Enix or Atlas or whatever, Sega, I don't know, I would still love this game to death.
I've noticed that when I've had to return to caves or like even just straight up restart the caves, the level layout remains the same, but the enemy placements and sometimes enemy types have changed.
Okay, so, okay. Yeah, because, you know, replayability.
And I guess it's a really cool idea that's sort of ahead of its time when this game came out in 2004, but that's not why
I mean, sure, you make an argument. I don't really see that way, but sure.
I play Nintendo games, and as it is, this just didn't feel very fun for me. Having to go down each sub-level, keep losing.
So you just don't like it because it's not like Nintendo games? When Nintendo is, let's get real, one of the most innovative, maybe not as much nowadays, but certainly for comparing every video game company, every video game studio, Nintendo is one of those innovative studios. Yeah, so you're going to say, if you were around when the Wii came out, you're like, how? What? This isn't like Nintendo. Isn't like the GameCube because you're swinging around a remote? That's not like Nintendo.
Pikmin and just being stuck with a small amount of Pikmin. I'm surprised I even made it out of some of those sub-levels losing Pikmin. This hold just didn't feel very fun for me. Having to go down each sub-level, keep losing Pikmin and just being stuck with a small amount of Pikmin. I'm surprised I even made it out of some of those.
So you're like, oh, you lose Pikmin, but you know, type management, you gotta
sub-levels because I had a ridiculously small amount of Pikmin.
How the heck was me when I was 12 years old better than this grown man playing Pikmin 2? I'm not trying to be hateful, but like generally, how was I better as a stupid, dumb kid who literally didn't know anything and went in blind? I went into the game blind, by the way. I mean, I knew about the Summer's Castle, I knew about some other things, but I did not know everything. How am I doing better than a grown man? I find that ridiculous.
You can escape the levels at any time, but that would mean losing all the treasure you've collected. And thankfully there are some points where you're able to eject yourself from the cave through a geyser, which is how you leave the caves at the end of them to begin with. So if you want to leave with your treasure that way, just hope that you come across one and really think about if you want to keep continuing down that cave. I also don't like the caves because they just look bland. They don't look great. Like there's some caves.
I mean, Pikmin 2's caves have more different designs than the overworlds of 2. I'm gonna say that. I mean, yeah, sure. Before you get the stellar orb, it's darker, and sure, it looks more grimy or whatever, and that may be, oh, it looks bland for that, but, you know.
That look
to each their own. I'm not gonna critique you for not liking the aesthetics of a video game.
But that's it. They just look like brighter caves with some, I guess, toys in there. That's cool, I guess, but that doesn't change the fact that they're still just bland, both in terms of level design and visual fidelity. So while Pikmin 2 may look great above ground, not so great below ground. Pikmin 4 does bring back these sub-levels, but the thing is, though, they're not randomly generated. They actually have...
Yeah, you know what they did for Pikmin? I'm not gonna be too mean on 4. Half of the caves in Pikmin 4 are like 2 sub-levels long, and they are only 3 of them. Heck, I would only argue one of them is decently challenging to even a novice player.
really cool designs in them, at least from what I've played of the demo. And that's just it. They're designed with human hands, and that's
so is Pikmin 2. The ChatGPT did not go like, we're in the shower, we're gonna go make these tiles here, we're gonna make the Wally Hop here, we're gonna make the electricity here. No, that's
what we love Nintendo for, right?
Brother, you can't just be saying that. It's not like Nintendo. Every single sentence, you can't be saying that. Holy crap. This video, man, is Okay.
They're human game designers. I had a ton
more. Still, the stuff in 2 is designed of humans. Just because it was moved a little bit around does not mean it was randomly generated. It was like a random number. Okay.
Fun in Pikmin 4's the sub-levels than I ever did in Pikmin 2's.
Really? You're comparing Pikmin 4's demo, which has... Yeah, you're going to do all of Sensical Terror, so I'm just going to use that. Okay, so like 3 of those caves, every single one of those caves is 2 levels long, and half of them don't have any bosses and barely any puzzles.
And man, they take up so much of the game. They're so... This game took me a lot longer to beat than Pikmin 1, about twice as long at 14 hours. But if you want to know how many...
Really? 14 hours? The average is like 20 hours. All right. Must be good at the game, even though you're not showing good gameplay of you.
Days it took me from when I started to the end. It was like maybe 2 weeks, even though I beat Pikmin 1 in like less than a week. And that's because when I got the free time to play a game and then I saw Pikmin 2 staring at me from my Switch, I just said, not today. I just didn't want to spend my free time playing this game that I didn't particularly enjoy. But the frustration really...
Sure, I will give you that. You want to use again, human beings, work, school, other life commitments, family events, friend events. Don't always have time, leisure time. I will give you that. And I'm not wanting to play Pikmin 2. Sure, you could do 1,000 other things if your time.
Set in once I reached the end game, and this is where I'm going to add a spoiler tag if you want to avoid
spoilers for a 22-year-old game.
Spoilers, skip ahead to this
I'm assuming if you're watching my content you already know what Pikmin 2 is, but all right.
Time code right here. But now let's get down to what happens at the end. The end credits roll when you collect all 10,000 of the currency. So Olimar and Louis leave the planet, or rather just Olimar because Louis gets left behind. Oops! So Olimar returns to the planet, but with the help of the president, who now acts as a Louis replacement in this regard. There's nothing that really changes about him, except his whistle doesn't sound like a whistle, it sounds like a car horn, which I just love. And that's where you go to the final level to find Louis, and I found out that Louis was in this cave called the Den of Dreams. This cave, man. This cave broke me. Let me
Really? So it is 14 sublevels long. One's a rest floor, so 13 sublevels long. And 5 of them are pretty easy. Another 5 are decently challenging. Yeah, it's okay.
show you some of my gameplay from it, because...
Oh boy. I'm gonna be like the freaking Supreme Court here with this gameplay.
It was absolutely frustrating. Kill them.
Again, running now into the caves of all 100 of your Pikmin. That's not what you're supposed to do. That's not how you play Pikmin 2. That is not how you play Pikmin 2. Okay. I'm yelling. That is not how you play Sorry if you're wearing headphones and I broke your ears. Apologies. Oh, that is not how you play Pikmin 2. Okay? This is just a bad game. Like, even when I was 12 years old, I knew not to do this.
No! Unbelievable.
And you only lost 6... Okay, you only lost 6 Pikmin from that clip. Okay.
You're kidding.
Also, you only brought in red, yellow, and blues. No whites, no purples. For the final cave of the game, which, if you were going to 100%, I believe there was like 2 berry treasures in the Dream Den. I know it was at least 1. And there's...
Me. Just threw all my Pikmin off the edge.
Oh, it just threw off my Pikmin off. Well, why did you take all your Pikmin out?
Hate this level. Oh, perfect. We're both in here. Great job, game. Thank you so much.
So you're mad at the game. You're mad at the game because the jelly float got you? They didn't seem to lose out any Pikmin in that clip.
Why do they always pick these two up? Get away from that, get away from that, get away, get away. And lost 3 of them, whatever. Why are these dudes right next to each other? This is...
I will give you this, Stream Dance Level 7's a lot. I will give you that. That's a lot, even for veteran players.
So irritating. Oh, yay, treasure, I guess. Don't care. You know what the real treasure would be? Beating this game so I can play things I actually enjoy.
Jeez. It's called Worst Let's Play Ever. Yeah, I wonder why.
Thank God. And look.
Still, no purple and whites. Pikmin type management going to throw right out the window.
Look at that. Spider mask.
Did you really lose all your purple and white Pikmin? You literally have to use white Pikmin to break open the gate to get into the Dream Den.
Mastermind.
I mean, you technically use the Groink's bullets, but I highly doubt he knows how to do that. No offense.
Doom. I don't know.
Again, even okay. I'm assuming you know that electricity is an instant kill. I'm assuming you know that. Why on earth you see the Titan's Weevil gives a visual cue when, I mean, I think it's also an audio cue as well for music. A visual cue when it is going to use certain attacks, and you decide to go running in with your reds, your blues, and your yellows. And then you're going to say it's the game's fault when it's your fault.
Oh, really? Really? It's like that? Stupid. And that was all when I was doing the cave the second time. I'm actually surprised.
Second time? Oh, jeez.
It only took me 2 tries to find Louis, and that's because of 2 reasons. 1, I found out that the game saves after you complete every sub-level.
What is this? I'm not trying to sound like I'm some narcissist Pikmin god, but like this gameplay is like, wow.
So I just thought, okay, if I lose too many Pikmin in this sub-level, I'll just restart the game. It's not what the game designers intended, but maybe they...
Fair enough. Even I do that. Everyone does that. I'll give you that.
should have added checkpoints to save me the headache.
But they do, because they save between every sub-level. What do you mean?
I skipped through a lot of the sub-levels going past all the enemies, because at that point, I just wanted to find Louis. All I wanted to do was find Louis. I didn't care about anything else. I wanted to find that boy so I could beat the game. Beat the game. Quote.
That last time I checked, the only way to beat Pikmin 2 is get all the treasures. That's how you beat Pikmin 2. I guess you technically... I don't consider rescuing Louis to be... I mean, maybe it's a speedrun category, but...
Unquote. I fought that boss that captured Louis with just enough Pikmin. Took a long time, but I was able to do it, baby. And then I got Louis, and I said, I'm done. I am done. I found Louis. No way am I going to try to get the perfect ending, which requires collecting all the treasure in the game, because I do not want to go through every single cave in the game and just break my brain.
The gameplay that I'm watching is breaking my brain.
So
I'm not trying to be hateful. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but like objectively this gameplay sucks. Like when I was 13, I was better at the game. My friends who barely knew anything about Pikmin, I watched them play and they are better than you. Like, and
here's the thing. Pikmin 2 is not a bad game. There's quite a few...
Oh, it's not a bad game. It's just a very big disappointment because it uses ChatGPT to generate all the caves.
People that enjoy Pikmin 2, and I don't blame them, especially if they really love challenge, because, man, those caves are especially challenging, albeit sometimes to just an...
So, again, you're not finding the boys to the right. You gotta switch your captains. But I will get... this is the one time I won't yell at you for bringing all 100 Pikmin, or 69 in this case. There... All right.
Unfair extent, and while Pikmin 2 does have elements of what I loved about Pikmin 1, it just is over encumbered with these cave systems that are filled with randomly generated levels that feel very
Can people stop saying, like, they say randomly generated, like, when people talk about Pikmin 2 in a bad way, they say randomly generated like it's a slur. Like, they literally say, oh, it's randomly generated. It sounds like a...
Nintendo-like. My favorite parts
then that's like the 5th time. It's un-Nintendo-like. I guess it's un-Nintendo-like for a Zelda game to have a time limit.
Pikmin 1 were the problem solving, figuring out how to get every part under a set time limit. And Pikmin
2, you try to get every treasure under a certain Pikmin limit.
2 removes the time limit, and I know Pikmin 3 and 4 don't have time limits either, but those games are more fun because their element of puzzle solving is
Pikmin 3 does have it. Basically doesn't have a time limit. Sure.
Still there. How do we get these parts? How do we get these fruits to the ship utilizing our...
But this is what you do in Pikmin 2. How do you get the treasures to the ship? In the caves. I really don't understand your point here.
Specific Pikmin types. Pikmin 2 largely doesn't feel like that. It feels like a dungeon crawler, which is definitely the kind of style it was going for, but to me it just didn't work. I didn't really have fun going through these caves, hoping I didn't lose too many Pikmin by the end of them so I could get the treasures or even the gear that are located at the end of the caves, because you could be rewarded with gear that made Olimar and Louis immune to poison, more resistant to attacks.
Poison, it's fire and electricity, but you know what, sure.
You know, stuff like that. But back to my original point, it's just that the caves in Pikmin 2 really brought down the entire experience for me. It'd be one thing if they were small side objectives, but these aren't side objectives at all. They take up most of the gameplay experience, and as a result, I didn't like the game. I really have no desire to go back to Pikmin 2. It was just an overall frustrating experience for me, and I understand that there are people who do like this game, although I do also understand that it's a very mixed game to some people. It might not...
Yeah, sure. I will say it's not for everyone.
Be the worst Pikmin game. I've heard bad things about Hey Pikmin. I'm not ever gonna play it, but I can tell you for sure that Pikmin 2 is now my least favorite Pikmin game. We'll see how Pikmin 4 holds up in that regard, but given that I put hours into that demo already, I still think that game's gonna at least come out way above Pikmin 2. But yeah, in the end, if you're looking to play the Pikmin games before 4 comes out very soon here, you should probably still give Pikmin 2 a shot if you beat Pikmin 1. There's some good things in there. I do think the enemy variety is way stronger here. There's a lot more diverse enemies, such as flying jellyfish, and some really menacing bosses. I don't know the names of them off the top of my head. All I know is that they're big and they're ugly. But definitely give the game a shot, and if you're not feeling it after about an hour or two, you don't have to finish it. You really don't. I technically didn't even finish it 100%.
Yeah, that's not finishing.
I just got to the credits and I rescued Louis.
All right, good enough. All right, final thoughts. Like most of Joey's problems, again, not trying to sound like overly snarky, came from his inability to do Pikmin type management, and most of the clips it showed me that he just ran head first with all of your Pikmin into every single problem. You do not split them up, you do not split up the captains, or you just ran right through the trenches, which is not what you're supposed to do. I don't before I end it, no hate to GameXplain or Joey or anyone else. It's just a video I wanted to make because I like talking about Pikmin, and this video was certainly a watch. Yeah, well, bye-bye.